everyone, and welcome to the Walking Dead After Show here on theStream.tv. I'm kind of speechless from that mid-season finale. That was crazy. Beth is dead. She's gone. We're never going to see her in another episode again, and I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we are pretty torn up about it. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this finale. I am your host, Malynda Hale, and here to discuss this crazy mid-season finale. We were all on our feet when all this happened. But here are my co-hosts to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Hi guys, I'm David, and I'm glad that Beth is gone, but we'll talk about that later.
He was the only one. He called it. He called it from the beginning. And on my right...
Hey guys, I'm Glenna Gasparian, and for once in my life, I am speechless.
And on my far right...
Hi guys, Kegan Schell, and I'm just not okay.
No one's okay.
None of us
It was
are
crazy.
okay
It was a
right
crazy episode, and we're excited to talk to you guys about it. So if you're here tuning in live, go ahead and invite your friends, family, your next door neighbor, your loved ones, anyone that just watched the Walking Dead finale to join in on this conversation with us. Tweet us using the hashtag TWDAS. We want your questions, we want your comments, we want your tears, we want to share in this sad moment with you. But let's start from the beginning of the episode, and let's talk about Gabriel. So there's no more church left. He completely destroyed that. First of all, he went to this place. He went to the school where the old people from Terminus were, where they killed Bob and cut off his leg, and we saw Bob's leg, and it was really disgusting.
Had little maggots on it.
Right. It was pretty gross. And we still don't really know why he went there, but I'm just kind of like, why would they, when he got back to the church and let those hundreds of zombies there, Michonne and Carl too nice. That's what I think. I wouldn't have let him in.
Nope.
I wouldn't have let him in either.
No, he's the weak link. Let him go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but they don't know that something could have happened. It's not like they know
he's
he
outside
escaped
banging on the door,
let
making
me
more
in,
noise.
right.
I'm like, I get it. He wanted to see what happened, but I don't know.
I guess he didn't believe them about the whole story of them eating Bob's legs, so he had to go check it out for himself.
Right, because that's what he said. I wanted to see for myself. And
Yeah.
that's what he was referring to.
I don't know.
I don't see him having a purpose in the rest of this season, and I was kind of hoping. I mean, we all knew someone was going to die this episode, and I kind of thought it was going to be him when all those zombies were there. I was like, okay, well, you don't really have a purpose anyway. But then they come back, Michonne and Carl let him in, and then they come out, and then they lock all the zombies in, and then now what? Where are they going to go now? Because he ruined this entire safe haven that they had. And he's not even worth, I don't know. I don't think he was worth saving, but...
No, but they're not like seeing it like that. Obviously,
Right.
they're good people, so they're like...
There's still some humanity
Yeah,
left
right.
in them.
They're not like the, Dawn and all them at the hospital where
Right.
they're just like, oh, we don't need you, so
Right.
why
Well,
save you?
I think, don't get me wrong, I think he's a useless character, but I think as we see the second half of the season and they're on the road, he'll probably be coming to playing the role of the humanity of the group now. Because now that I think that he's not hiding anything. I think he's just, he was really just weak and scared of these crazy people killing everything in his church. And so he's probably going to be the voice of humanity within the group from here
Yeah,
on.
but...
And I think he may have had a big moment this episode. I mean, he willingly took the machete to fight this
Right.
time. So
Well, he
that's a big
also
step
let
for him.
Michonne and Carl and the baby go first,
first.
and he was like, I'm not going to...
Leave until you guys are gone.
Right.
Right.
So that was like a big thing for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe that there's still something, and there's still you'll burn for this on the side of the church.
I 100% agree with you. I still think there's more to him.
I think he's gonna come. God, I can't even think of the character's name, and I know somebody's gonna give me crap for it. Remember the first and second season? There's the guy who had the trailer, and he would always sit on top of his trailer, and he would hang out with
Dale?
Dale.
Dale.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be the Dale.
No.
Yeah,
Interesting.
with the old, the wise.
No one's that
I liked
irritating.
Dale.
No, but Dale at least had his gun. He had that, like, he
But he was
took
the
care of
humanity of
people.
the group.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
true. That's true.
and it got him killed.
Right. Well, yeah. So now we have the three of them waiting out, and all of a sudden the group shows up. Abraham and Glenn and Maggie, they all show up. So the gang's all here. They're all reunited, and they let Michonne and Carl know that Eugene does not have the cure. He lied. They had to find out.
Still sleeping in the back of that
still
van.
You know what?
sleeping.
None of them looked really shocked.
Yeah. That is very true.
Yeah,
But I mean,
Michonne was like,
she was like, okay. Right.
okay,
Oh.
Right.
moving on.
Right. So then they tell them about Beth and that she's alive. Maggie is all of a sudden, worried about her sister, which we all kind of joked about, because I don't know if you guys have noticed throughout most of this season, Meg really hasn't said anything about Beth. So
half of last season too,
right?
Since they've been separated.
So I'm actually very interested to see the dynamic now between Eugene and Gabriel, because they're both very weak links now. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go about with the group. Anyway, so they show up, big fire truck, they rescue them. They're all planning to go rescue Beth, which I'm excited for, that they're all finally going to be reunited because they haven't been together in forever. So we go forward a little bit in the episode, and we see these different moments with Dawn, and it really starts to make me think that she's a legit good person. She has these moments of humanity. She really tells Officer O'Donnell, I think that's what his name was, that her and Beth ended up killing. They have this tag team moment where they fight him off, and then they have this heart-to-heart. So before we get to the end, because we obviously all know how it ends, I mean, in that moment, what were you guys feeling?
I thought, maybe she and Beth were gonna kind of team up a little bit more. Like,
I did too.
Maybe not be so. I mean, clearly I was wrong.
Right.
But I mean, maybe not antagonize each other so much and kind of gain a mutual understanding. But
Right.
I thought that somehow Dawn, when they went to go rescue Beth, she would maybe join them, or like something where they were like, okay, like we're in this together.
Right.
And
because it almost felt like she was taking Beth under her wing a little bit.
Totally.
Like it was almost going to be like a Carol Beth kind of dynamic. What do you think, David?
I was kind of feeling that Dawn was, after we've seen these things. I don't know, like her character's so hard. I never know if she's lying.
Right.
But like, from what I can tell, she kind of seemed like she's like the Rick Grimes of their group. In this
do what
episode,
has to be done.
Yeah, she does what has to be done, but she's not like a bad person. And like, she took out the dude that was doing wrong things, that was gonna mess up the entire group. I mean, Rick would have totally done that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because he does do that. He would rather. I think Rick. The thing with Rick is he does want to have his humanity, but he'll turn it off in a minute if he has to. And so I think you were right.
I think he'd much rather keep Carl and the little baby alive.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares about anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you think that Dawn was going to be a bigger character?
I thought she was going to last longer, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, just the way they... Granted, I mean, that's what they did with Herschel last season. They made him bigger and bigger and bigger, and then off with his head.
That's very true.
I hope
Literally.
that would have had to change, because if they would have made Dawn a bigger character, we would have had to stay with this hospital storyline for the rest of the season. And it's just like...
well, and also there would have been a lot of conflicts between her and Rick.
Yeah.
Of who's going to be the leader and in
there
charge.
would have been a huge...
Right.
thing.
That's true.
There can only be one.
But then again, do you feel like they should kind of have some consistency like they did? Because they stayed at the prison for a really long time. So,
that was perfect. That was perfect.
The prison?
Yes.
Yeah, they had everything.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the governor, like, what if that could have been the end of the show.
Well, according to the comics, they do find another safe haven outside of D.C., so maybe that's where they're going to go. I mean, even though that
now they have no church because of Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, even though Eugene's lying, I don't see why they wouldn't stay. I mean, if we saw the trailer from the next episode where there's like, we have to go somewhere and do something.
Right.
So maybe that's where they're going to go.
They need a purpose, and they need to get somewhere, so that could very well be where they decide their purpose needs to take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just need to find one.
They just need to leave Georgia. They've been in Georgia for 5
I was
seasons.
thinking the same thing. It's like, go to another state.
As
and
much
see
as
what's
they
happening
walk, they
there.
haven't gotten very far.
Right.
Like,
They
they
got
walk
good
a lot,
tax
and they
breaks.
just kind of go around.
Yeah, but they are just going in circles. Like, we already know that they're going in circles.
I have wondered that, like, how many miles have they actually gone? And like, I mean,
3 years.
It's a state, but I mean, come on, you would think by now.
I mean, they're still within walking limits of the city.
Right. That's
Not very far.
right. Because isn't the hospital's in Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to get out of Georgia. I agree. I agree. All
Definitely.
right, so back to the hospital. So now we have Grady Memorial versus Rick's group. In the beginning of the episode, we saw this awesome scene with Rick. Where I was like, that's the Rick Grimes we know.
Oh my God, I loved it.
Where he's telling this officer, stop, and then he doesn't stop, and then he just plows him in the back with the car. He face plants on the concrete, gets out, and he basically just shoots him in the head. So now they don't have 3 cops to bargain with. They have 2 cops to bargain with. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this is going to change the plan, but because they said that Dawn doesn't care about the cops anyway, you know? So did you guys think that was going to change anything?
Well, now if we had known she was gonna ask for Noah, he
Right.
would have been perfect.
Right.
For that.
That would have been a perfect exchange.
That would've- yeah.
There's no way to know that. So yeah, so they get there, they make the fair exchange for Beth and Carol. Everything seems like it's okay, and then she lays it on them that she wants Noah. And Noah's so sweet. He was like, "It's okay, I'll go." You know, it was fine. But we all knew, actually going in, that something was weird. And David was like, "Look at the way it's shot. Like something was gonna happen. It's not right." What were you gonna say, Glenna?
I don't remember.
It's okay. It's all right.
I have really bad ADD. So.
It's all right. It's cool. It was an intense moment.
Oh, actually, now I do remember.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say that Noah, it like made sense that he was like, no, it's okay, because pretty much he knew he owed his life to Beth.
Right.
So that was.
I mean, really, had he gone back, I mean, he's safe. I mean, yeah, he's stuck with Dawn again, but
Right.
really, it's not the worst case scenario.
Well, here's the thing. Like at the end, like Rick is like, anybody that wants to leave
Can come with
can
us.
come with us.
Right.
How many of those other people did you see walk out of that hospital?
None of them.
None of them.
Right.
We didn't. Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did
see
because
that?
when
they all
they
came
went
out
out.
to
I was
see.
in a really bad place
Right.
when that scene happened, so I don't quite remember it. that
So
well.
after Noah agrees to go, Beth goes up to Dawn and says, "What does she say? Now I
She
understand."
said, "Now I understand."
And stabs
Shank.
her. Stabs her.
Scissors.
And then there's a straight up shot from Dawn right into Beth's head. And that was it. And the tension, the emotions, it was crazy. And Dawn, you know, she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to." But then Glenna made a really good point. The gun was just ready.
Yeah, she had it in a holster, all right?
Yeah.
And it's
That-
not like you could actually, I mean, I can understand accidentally shooting her foot, but it was pointed straight up.
Straight up.
And then she said she didn't mean to do it.
I mean, she
Yeah.
looked horrified.
She
that
did,
it.
but it's weird. It's weird how convenient that was. I don't know.
It was like it was almost at the same time
Right.
as she got stabbed.
That's
Right.
what, and that's what makes me think that it was a reactionary thing, because it wasn't like, "Oh look, I got stabbed, bam." It was stab, bam. Like
Yeah.
there was no. I don't think there was any thinking time. There was
Well,
no way to
because she
calculate
probably
it.
knew Beth. She was like, "This girl is not gonna take any,
Ish.
ish. This girl's not gonna take any ish. So I'll just like be careful."
Right.
And then
Yeah.
But it was just
And
so
then
hard.
Daryl comes out of the back.
And
And
then
puts it
Daryl,
on.
yeah, he ends it
No
quick.
hesitation.
I mean, that moment was so sad. Daryl's face killed me.
that's what made me cry.
Yeah,
I knew it. I
actually.
knew it was gonna happen. I
Yeah,
called it like
he-
four
yeah,
episodes
yeah, you
ago.
totally
Well,
did.
that
You
was,
said
that
Beth
was
or
wishful
Carol, but-
thinking.
I was
Yeah.
like,
for
Beth or Carol's gonna go, and I was like, well, I mean, for the purpose of long-term writing for the show, I think Carol would be a much interesting character to keep around
Right.
for a couple
Totally.
more seasons.
She's got a little more to offer than Beth. Well, a
Yeah.
lot
A
more.
lot
I'd have
more.
to
And
say
Beth
she has a lot
definitely
more
hit
to
her
offer.
peak this season, and that's what they do. The characters
Right.
have a great half of a season, and then they go.
Right.
Like, I think Lori
Because
was
they
most
focused
likable
so
right before
much
she
on
died,
Beth this season. They kind of made it kind of obvious that they were going to get rid of her because there was so much focus on her. But then again, they focus on Carol a lot too. So I think they wanted us to juggle the two of them. I know those are Kegan's favorite characters too. So what do we think is next now?
Oh.
So they had the moment Daryl so sadly carried Beth out.
Oh.
Maggie breaks down. They all see this, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. I don't really know what's going to happen now.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
want to know what's gonna happen with Morgan.
So mad.
Oh.
We're still talking about this. Hold on.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
What do you think's going to happen with the group?
I think it goes back to they need to find a new purpose, so
Yeah.
maybe they'll head to DC. I think that
Now
they're
they
gonna
have a
head to
fire
somewhere.
truck.
They have a fire
They
truck.
have a fire truck with no
they'll
water
have
in it.
so now it's gonna go back to the little cycle again. They're all in this one big little truck or whatever, and they're going to their next place, and then it's just gonna be the same old thing, but different.
Well, I think that's
Circumstances.
good, because at a certain point, like, how many times over and over again have they found somewhere safe, and because of this, like when we go to the church, we go to the terminus, we go to the prison, the walkers are no longer a problem.
Right.
The people are.
Yeah.
But now that they're going to be back out on the road, on the open road, the walkers are now a problem.
Yeah.
Especially since that fire truck's not going to last very long.
Right.
It's going to run out of gas and they're done.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on foot. Now we're going to make the walkers a
They have to
significant
make it a problem, yeah.
significant issue for them again.
Because
And I think
it
that's
has
great
only
because
been
they're
people,
going
you're
back to
right.
the roots of like
Of what
the
they-
first season, so to
Right.
speak. You know.
Right. I agree. So we'll have to see. But yes, as we brought up at the very, very end, if you stayed with AMC, we saw that Morgan was right on their tails, and he ended up back at the church. So we're all excited because we kind of love Morgan. He's been this consistent character that hasn't really been on the show, but he's still been a huge part of the show. We've all been wondering. So do you think he's going to catch up with them? I really hope he does.
So here's the thing now, like, I thought that he was already following them in the beginning.
Really?
But when he saw that,
Same.
the map, and it said the world's going to need Rick Grimes, the look on his face, like he was like, oh crap, it's Rick.
Yeah, he
like,
didn't know.
He didn't know that he was following
Right,
Rick.
right.
So that means he's probably going to follow that map to DC.
Well, that
And-
makes me sorry.
I mean, that makes me think that the group's going to go to DC, because in other words, why would we introduce Morgan in the first place?
Right.
Other than to make them meet somewhere.
Right.
So what if he's actually following somebody else in the group that he doesn't know is with Rick?
Or like Noah.
Noah or
well, Noah wasn't with them at the
or
beginning.
Michonne or I don't know, because it's the sword thing on the trees.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Glenna brought up that he's tracking these marks on the trees, but I thought maybe Rick's doing it, and we don't know. But we're just making guesses. Maybe they had this kind of like unspoken, thing that they're supposed to.
Last time they saw each other, or maybe even the first time they saw each other, they just had this like thing where it
Right.
was like,
I'll mark where we are, and
Just in case.
Just in case.
We'll always
I think
just
it'd be
say we
really,
were
really
here.
awesome if that were the case. But Morgan definitely is making a comeback into the show, which is great because he was always a strong character to me, even though he was on it for like 2 episodes.
I think Morgan needs to make it to the group.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I really like. Not a lot of people didn't like him, but I really like Shane. And I think one of the reasons I really like Shane is because of the power dynamic between him and Rick. Rick did not have complete control, and it had to be him and Shane both on something. And I think if we introduce Morgan back into the group, I think Morgan can fill that spot that was left by Shane with the power dynamic with Rick.
Well, I kind of think that they're kind of grooming Daryl to be the second lead of the group, the way that Shane was. Not in a negative way.
But I see...
Because Daryl is a really strong leader.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
become a strong leader this
But
season.
I look at Daryl not as like a leader of the group, but he's your go-to guy to get shit done.
Yeah, he's kind of
Totally.
like
Yeah.
the guard dog. Like
True.
You let
I
him
can
off
see
the
that.
leash when
If,
he
we,
Right,
if we made it a
right.
hierarchy, like Rick would be the king, right? And like Daryl would be like the king's champion.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
The captain of the guard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Makes
a
sense.
second-hand man.
Yeah. Well, we want to know what you think. So please tweet us using the hashtag TWDAS. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and comment. We will respond to you. We can't wait to see what you think. And we'll be right back with your fan questions. Thanks for watching.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
We're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell them go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Hi, and welcome back to the Walking Dead After Show on theStream.tv. We want to give a few YouTube shout-outs to those tuning in with us tonight. First, we want to say hi to Adam Carlson, Forever Johnny Boy, PO_the_Jedi, Dallas Jackson, Spencer Diaz, and the Kid Hip. Thank you so much for tuning in, and since you're there, go ahead and subscribe to theStream.tv. We appreciate you watching. Now, we are going to get into our fan questions. First, Dre5DS asks, when will we get another old guy on the show? Dale died, then Herschel came, and Herschel's dead, so who's going to be the next old guy to join the group? Well, you had mentioned that you thought that Gabriel was going to kind of take the place.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's not an old
they don't
guy,
necessarily
but, yeah.
have to be old. I think
He's got that old soul.
He has an old soul, right.
I think they have to have like that humanity quality, because it's like older people nowadays, like kids with their cell phones or something.
Right.
I don't know.
It's
it's
different
like you gotta have like
Absolutely.
that generation,
It's a generational
the
thing,
wiser
for sure.
generation that looks out for people. I don't know. That'd be a good question. I think we need one, but then again,
do you think they'll introduce another character that will kind of take that place?
I don't know that they would introduce another character at this point, because what they've been doing, the characters they introduce haven't become like recurring characters, I guess, except unless Noah becomes someone who sticks around a little bit longer. It's just, I feel like they're not going to introduce anyone now that's going to be in it for the long run.
Right. It's because it's easier to kill off those people than the people that people are emotionally attached
Right.
to.
Absolutely.
Very true. Very
well, if
true.
the group's back on the road, I mean, they could meet somebody anytime. I mean, that's when they met the majority of their people, when they were on the road.
Definitely.
So now that they're back on the road, who knows? We might find one
Interesting.
along the way.
We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for your question. Question number 2 comes from @jvolk13. In the comics, they mention a safe zone in Alexandria. Do you think there actually is a safe haven there, or is it another terminus or Grady Memorial, I would say as well? What do you guys think?
I think pretty much anywhere is going to be another Grady Memorial or Terminus.
Yeah.
Just because it's the people are the most dangerous things in the show,
Right.
and nobody trusts
Right.
anyone, and everybody's looking out for themselves. So I don't think they're ever going to find a safe haven.
You don't think they'll ever get past the being afraid of other humans?
No, not unless whatever this is dies out. Which it won't, because they're all infected.
Because everybody's infected,
So,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I got a safe haven, right? It's called Hawaii.
Well, like Alaska. Like
It's
if the
a-
walkers freeze.
It's an island. You kill off the walkers, that's it. There's no more. They're not going to keep coming.
Yeah, but when people die, they're all infected.
Yeah, but then they just,
I
they
mean,
change
yeah.
your medical practices. When they die, you done.
You're funny. We'll have to see where they end up, though. I'm like, you're funny. But do you think that they're headed to Alexandria? You think they are, like, towards Washington, D.C.?
I was just talking about, I've been reading the comics all week, so I'm trying to catch up. I'm on the prison saga right now. But I think that they will. I mean, the show and the TV show, or the show and the TV show, the show and the comics are so vastly different at this point. I think maybe they're going to come to a point where they're
they need to come back
in the same direction.
Well, they do follow a very loosely a similar structure, like where they end up. Where I think the show borrows a lot from the comics as opposed to directly adapting, but they follow a very loose trail, like path to the end. I think. So I think Alexandria is a very viable next option.
It's likely. Cool.
I mean, because isn't Alexandria in D.C.?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
And then, it makes sense because they're on the road. Where are they going to go?
Right, where
and now
else is there
Morgan's
to
heading
go?
towards D.C.
Right, because
Well, we don't know for sure, but we can assume that he's heading
because
towards
he sees
D.C.
that
as
Rick
well.
is still alive, so
You know?
Why did they leave the map there?
Because they got stormed by zombies.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't grab anything on the way out.
They couldn't go
I was
back to
watching, I
get
swear.
the. Well, we'll see. Thanks so much for your question. And our last fan question is from Chow Macaroon. Who will be the next big villain on the show? That's a good question because we had, the governor, we had Dawn, we had the Terminus people. They have to bring something, but I think David hit on something that they need to make it about the walkers, and I think the walkers need to go back to being the villains, and that's
threat,
what they need to. Yeah, because they need to speed up. They need to either talk or something, or like be able to adapt. Maybe not talk, but they need to. There needs to be something about them that's instills the fear in everybody again, because right now it is about them being afraid of humans, which I think that's probably what the point is.
Yeah, but I also feel like they've gotten past that point. They already know how to easily kill walkers. They have all the weapons they need.
So
it's
then-
not like it's an easy thing,
So
like,
then this is what we were
unless
talking
they
about last week.
drive through that big herd
We
of.
need evolved walkers.
We do. I completely agree.
I think maybe some
It would
walkers
be
that
cool if
could
they would
maybe
start
think a
running.
little bit.
At least run, because
Yeah,
they're
like
real
get a
slow.
little right.
Or at least run.
Right. I don't know about the talking thing.
Because
if
you
they
could
did
just
talking,
imagine,
it can't be cheesy.
What's the baby's name?
Judith.
Judith. You can just imagine, you know, like kids like to throw rocks at things. You can just imagine Judith throwing rocks at walkers' heads as they walk by because they can't catch her. They're so.
Right.
You know, they
Well,
need
the problem
to make
is
these
even
things
as
a
slow
threat.
as they are in numbers, they're still. I mean, you can't take out 20 walkers at once with a sword
it's a
or
lot.
a knife.
Right.
So, I think as they start moving at it seems like Atlanta's been pretty well cleared of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, not completely, obviously, but they're going to start venturing outwards, and I think they might start encountering more herds, bigger groups of them again, and that's what could
different
make
types
them a threat.
of So.
Well, I mean, that just the fact that they're going to be back on the road makes the walkers that much more dangerous because they have no cover. Yeah. They have nowhere to hide from
a fire
them.
truck. That's
just climb a tree, I guess.
Right.
But
all right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, the walkers end up being the villain on the show in the next half of this season. And we have a live question from the Kid Hip. What do you think is Morgan's purpose in the show? That's a really good question because they keep focusing on him. And Glenna has a theory. I'm curious. What do you think, Glenn?
I just think that he's going to pull a Carol, and I think that he's going to disappear like he always does, and the crew is going to be stuck in a rut, and he's going to just show up and save everyone.
that's called bad writing.
It's called pleasing your audience.
It's so cliche, though.
It is kind of cliche, but I see. But
Carol did it, and we all loved it.
But we didn't expect it from Carol.
No, we didn't. We
At
expected
all.
Carol to, you know.
We're not going to expect it from him either because we're going to forget about him, and then he'll all of a sudden show up and be like.
I don't know. I think
or he has a sword or something.
Morgan would do some crazy stuff for Rick.
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
Rick is the only person he has left in this world.
That's a good point.
That he has.
That's true.
That is a very good
He's
point.
the
He has
only
he has a
person.
connection to.
He's the only person.
That's very true. That's a good point. Well, I definitely think that they're going to make Morgan a bigger part, hopefully in this
I hope so.
next half of the season.
I like the character. I like the actor.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I just want to see something happen to him other than 30-second Easter eggs every couple episodes.
It's true. It's true. That's what they're called, Easter eggs. Those little.
Well, technically, I mean, doing a 30-second scene isn't an Easter egg. Easter egg is something you have to find.
Right.
Oh, wait, did you notice that this said something in the background? Like, that's Spider-Man.
But some people don't
in the
even
back of
tune
Avengers.
in to after because they probably thought that was the end. So I don't even know if that many people
Right.
saw.
That's why
the
I thought
Morgan.
it was. I thought it was like a.
We're like, what was this? Yeah.
The
Rerun?
rerun.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Can't think.
Well, we'll see. We all love Morgan, so hopefully he becomes a bigger character. Before we end our show, we want to give some Twitter shout-outs to @KCVaughn7 and @Paulina Sedeka. Thank you so much for tweeting us throughout the week. And you as well can tweet us throughout the week with your questions using the hashtag TWDAS. Even though this was the mid-season finale, we will still interact with you, and we'd love to discuss your theories and what you think is going to happen when the show comes back. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we're excited to come back in February when the second half of this season starts again. So thanks again for watching, guys. Subscribe to theStream.tv and tweet us until February if you'd like. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
Bye, guys.